Hello, everyone. My name is Okundaimer Cynthia, a lawyer at Olisa Agbakoba Legal. Here with me is Yvonne, a partner at Olisa Agbakoba Legal.
Thank you very, Cynthia.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yvonne Ezekiel, managing partner to Olisa Agbakoba Legal and head of the corporate commercial practice group as well.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about an essential topic, estate planning. So, ma'am, what is estate planning?
So, estate planning is a process of creating a plan to manage and distribute your properties and assets at the time one is deceased. And it's not a topic everybody really likes to talk about. Actually, it's something not really about fun. It's talks about our mortality. But it's an essential thing to do because it's about distributing your assets so that your wishes are carried out upon your exit from this planet.
So who is eligible to write a will? Can, a really young person write a will? And what if I don't have so many properties? Can I write a will?
Right, so you've got to be an adult to be able to write a will. So you could be young adults to write a will, but you don't have to have amassed a vast and significant amount of property to be able to write a will. So if you have something and you have wishes and you want this wishes to be carried out, then that's when you put a will together. But you've got to be an adult to write a will and in the right frame of mind as well.
Well, that's really cool. So let's say I'm 18 and I write my will. I know that I can, change my mind like 100 times before I actually leave the earth. So is there, provision where I can alter my will or change it and things like that?
Yeah. So I would say at 18, there's an expectation that you shouldn't have that many assets.
Yeah.
But as you obviously grow on and progress in life and, you can then acquire more assets and should you have a will at 18 where you probably just had a handful of assets, you can make an addition to your will. It's called a codicil where you then state, your new wishes and desires based on the new assets that you've acquired and who you intend to benefit from those assets.
Oh, okay. So talking about who you intend to put in your will, can I be very specific on who exactly I want so that, I am sure that I trust this person and this person can handle it? Can I be that specific?
So when you write a will, you've got to state the beneficiaries of the will and who will you intend to acquire those assets or you want those assets distributed to. You also have to obviously also state who would help to execute the will or administer the will. In this case, an executor. So the executor will ensure that those assets are properly distributed to the persons you have named to be beneficiaries of the will.
Okay, if these executors, what are they going to do for me? Like how are they going to, what is really their duty?
So upon the death of the owner's will, what the executors would do, first of all, is obviously carry probate.
Yeah.
Get probate. And probate is really essentially a legal process of validating the will and making sure that what it has been stated in those wills are carried out. So the executors will get probate, which is essentially commissioned to execute the will. They will also notify the beneficiaries of the will. They will pay any debts that are accumulated to the estate and, make sure they clear any sort of debts. And then they distribute the will. Then they distribute the assets as desired or stated by the owner of the will.
Okay. So I know that we have kind of put in here and there the importance of a will, but what clearly is the importance of a will?
The first, obviously, is making sure that your wishes are certainly carried out.
Yeah.
And then two, to eliminate any dispute that may arise. We all have heard of families that have gone into or disintegrating simply because a will has not been written or the wills have been contested for whatever reason. But surely, putting a will in place is and stating clearly what you intend and what your desires are, where you're sure that your wishes are carried out and there are no disputes and then people are taken care of.
Yeah, and I can imagine that that's really important, that you are resting in peace, knowing that everything that you worked for is handled properly at the end of the day. So aside a will, are there other forms of estate planning?
Yes, you can create a trust, which is really a liquid entity where you put all your properties within that liquid entity and your beneficiaries can then benefit from the trust that's been set up. You could also create a power of attorney where you set up where you have your beneficiaries are below a certain age, legal age, young children, and then you set up a power of attorney to allow the person who's been given the power to make decisions that will benefit these children, or where you, as the individual, you're incapacitated and you can't make decisions. This person will make the decisions for you. You can also decide that you want to give some of your property as gifts to your kids and all that, and that would help to obviously make sure that you minimize any taxes that would essentially end up being accrued to the estate, and and secondly, of course, in terms of businesses, where you're looking at business succession planning, you're clearly nominating the person who would clearly succeed at the helm of affairs of the business.
That's really interesting. There's a plethora of options, as you can see. So what advice would you give to me, the people watching, on, planning a will, just in case I'm scared, or like, how do I write a will? Should I sit down and just write my will, put it in an envelope and tell somebody to read it when I'm going out? Like, how do I get it done?
So it's essential first to, if you decide you want to write a will, it's essential that you consult a lawyer who will certainly guide you onto the pitfalls, so that you make sure you write a proper will that is properly done and unlikely to be contested, making sure it follows all the right rules. And secondly, I don't think anyone should be too scared to write a will, because essentially what you're doing is stating your wishes and desires, making sure that your loved ones are taken care of upon your death, and they are the right beneficiaries, and eliminating any potential dispute that may arise in the event that you do it to make.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. I'm sure that, everybody has been enlightened about, how to plan your estate. Once again, my name is Okuda Emerson-Bia, a lawyer at Olisa Agbakoba Legal.
Thank you very much, BCJ, for having me. Thank you all for listening. This is Yvonne Ezekiel signing out.